The streets of hip-hop have one question that just won't die. Where is Iceman? Drake's mysterious and long-teased album has become the most talked-about ghost project in rap right now, and fans are growing desperate for answers. What started as whispers from inside OVO has spiraled into a full-blown meltdown among his most loyal supporters who've been waiting months for what was supposed to be Drake's redemption record. Ever since the dust settled from his war with Kendrick Lamar, people have been speculating that Iceman was the project meant to reclaim the throne, to silence the doubters and bring back the confident, unstoppable Drake from the Nothing Was the Same era. But instead of an album, fans got confusion, rumors, and a few cryptic snippets that made the mystery even deeper. Okay, so we're all speculating now. When is Iceman dropping? Can't be Friday. I know Drake's birthday is on Friday, but Dave sent and Dave's dropping an album on Friday. Like, he's not going to step on his homage release like that. What he might do is drop a single cause he did that when Justin Bieber dropped the deluxe version of his album. One of two things is going to happen. He's either dropping it November 22nd, which would be a year after GNX to step on any potential deluxe, or he's going to drop it on the 31st of December at 11:59, right before the new year, because that's officially when his contract is up. As long as he drops the album before the end of the year, he's fulfilled his contract to UMG, right? Each week, new leaks and fake track lists pop up online, fueling conspiracy theories about whether Iceman ever really existed or if it was just a marketing trick gone wrong. The earliest signs of Iceman surfaced shortly after Drake's feud with Kendrick hit its peak. Insiders began hinting that Drake was working on something colder, darker, and more calculated. A project that would distance him from the club records and pop melodies, leaning instead toward raw lyricism and emotional control. Supposedly, the title Iceman symbolized Drake's transformation, a reflection of how he planned to freeze out the industry and move like a silent assassin after taking heavy hits to his reputation. The leaks described chilling production, minimalist beats, and introspective bars about betrayal, loyalty, and power. But as months passed, with no official announcement, fans grew restless. Some blamed OVO's tight secrecy. Others believed the project was scrapped entirely after internal backlash from the label. Either way, Iceman became more than an album. It became a myth, the latest piece in Drake's unraveling narrative. Social media has turned this delay into chaos. Drake stans are flooding comment sections, spamming his posts and demanding answers every time he logs onto Instagram or appears at a concert. Reddit threads are breaking down alleged clues hidden in his lyrics and live performances. TikTok has entire communities dedicated to Iceman theories, with some fans convinced that the album was recorded under a different name and others claiming Drake's inner circle forced him to shove it after poor feedback from private listening sessions. Meanwhile, skeptics are calling it a PR illusion, saying the project never existed at all. Just another attempt to keep fans engaged while Drake recalibrates his career post-Kendrick feud. But the desperation is real. For the first time in over a decade, Drake's fan base is turning restless, frustrated, and borderline delusional. The king of consistency has gone silent, and the silence is speaking louder than ever. The hype around Iceman didn't come out of nowhere. Drake himself planted the seed, teasing it through cryptic captions and half-statements that made fans believe something major was brewing. During his last few concerts, he dropped lines like, "The cold's coming soon, and I'm back in mode," sending fans into detective mode. But those hints never led to anything concrete. Instead, each show brought more speculation and disappointment. The longer the wait dragged on, the more chaotic the fan theories became. Some insisted that Iceman was delayed because of legal issues surrounding unreleased collaborations. Others claimed the album's rollout was scrapped after negative press from his Kendrick Lamar beef and the backlash over his behavior at recent concerts. What's certain is that the mystique has turned into frustration. Fans who once bragged about Drake's dominance now find themselves defending a ghost project that might not even exist. Alright, peace and love bracketing. So, let's just talk about this Aubrey situation and get this out the way real quick. I made a video a couple of months ago where I told y'all there's a difference between being famous and infamous. You can't go unfamous. You can't make yourself unfamous. You can't do that. But you can become infamous. I feel like Aubrey right now is just infamous. I feel like the lawsuit keeps him in the conversation, which gets the clicks going and everything. He's only in the media lately because of this lawsuit. And I think that that's what's been carrying the narrative for like the last since the battle that's been carrying the narrative. Usually an artist has a sense of mystique around them that makes them enticing to want to follow. This is why people are like so tuned in to do because this __, disappear, come back, drop a classic, disappear. You won't see him on the internet, none of that. It's a mystique that has built up. The mystique with OBS is gone. There's, like I said, there's an asterisk by your records being made. There's an asterisk by the pen. There's an asterisk by even your number ones. There's an asterisk behind the entire RM numbers conversation. So I don't even want to make that exclusively to him. The entire music industry has been exposed. Thugs exposed it. I mean, Ye was kind of like the first one to really like tackle that. But Thugs exposed it. He all attempts to expose like the numbers don't matter. This is why I don't like talking numbers. You judge the artist by the influence. The conversation is always going to lead to the number. Well, bro, the man has had 15 years of records being pumped out. That's a lot of catalog, bro. You think that just going to die in the streaming era? This is probably like the biggest, if not the biggest story in hip-hop. The fact that an artist lost a rap battle and decided to sue his label. So, a lot of people are finding out things about him. Leakers and insiders have only added to the confusion. A few industry figures hinted that Iceman went through several versions with Drake reportedly recording over 60 tracks before scrapping most of them. One rumor claimed that the project had two sides, one emotional and reflective, the other aggressive and confrontational, showing the duality of Drake's mindset after his fall from grace. Another rumor said that Drake's inner circle was split on whether to release it at all, fearing it could worsen his public image. Some said it lacked direction. Others argued it was his best work in years. Either way, the uncertainty surrounding Iceman has created one of the strangest situations in modern hip-hop. An artist too big to fail, yet too cautious to move. Adding fuel to the fire. Snippets supposedly tied to Iceman have leaked online, giving fans glimpses of what might have been. One track allegedly titled Frozen State features haunting synths and Drake rapping about isolation and betrayal. Lyrics that fans immediately connected to his post-Kendrick slump. Another Winter's Gift had him singing about trust, image and the weight of fame. But none of these leaks have been verified. And every time a new clip surfaces, debates break out over whether it's real or fan-made. Even major music blogs have started mocking the situation, comparing Iceman to Kanye West's mythical Yendi album, a project that existed more in rumor than reality. But the difference is that Drake's silence makes it worse. He hasn't denied or confirmed anything, leaving fans trapped in limbo between hope and disappointment. Drake's entire brand was built on control. Control of image, control of timing, control of emotion. But with Iceman, that control seems gone. Every delay makes him look more uncertain, every rumor more believable. And while fans hold on to the idea that something big is coming, the industry is quietly watching a legend struggle to regain his footing in a world that moves faster than ever. Part of what makes Iceman such a hot topic is how much it reflects the current state of Drake's career. The once cool, calculated artist now appears to be in a full identity crisis. After dominating every lane, rap, R&B, pop, and trap, for over a decade, he's suddenly facing questions about relevance and longevity. Kendrick's Not Like Us didn't just win a beef. It redefined the cultural hierarchy. For the first time, Drake's image as the smooth, untouchable superstar has cracks in it, and fans expected Iceman to fix that. All right, Drake, we've been in October for 10 days now. Hello. When is Iceman coming? And I know you're not going to make us wait until the end of October. I get that that's when your birthday is, but like you really want to wait until your birthday to drop. Like give the fans aka me what we want. Like at this point I'm feeling like I'm deluded. You know what I'm saying? Like am I delusional for thinking that October 1st there should have been every October 1st he needs to drop? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this not Utober? Or Otober? I don't know how to say it, but you'll get what I'm saying. It's Drake-tober, y'all. Like, what? Hello. What are we doing here? What are we waiting for? Then we got the snippet that dropped. I don't know if it was leaked or it dropped or what happened with that. Maybe he leaked it himself. Like that Iceman baby, Why are you so cold? Like, come on. You cannot drop or leak something like that and then not give us the rest. Like, please. The name itself carried symbolism, a rebirth, a colder version of Drake rising from the ashes. But instead of redemption, all they've gotten is confusion. His silence has turned anticipation into frustration and frustration into desperation. Every time he's seen in public, fans yell out, "Drop Iceman," like it's a chant, as if demanding the project will make it appear out of thin air. Even Drake's inner circle has been fueling the mystery. Producers linked to OVO have posted icy emojis, cryptic snowflake captions, and snippets of beats that sound tailor-made for the project. Each post triggers a new wave of speculation. But behind the smoke and mirrors, industry insiders claim there's more going on. According to reports, Iceman faced multiple creative delays after Drake's team couldn't agree on a direction. Some wanted him to go introspective, a confessional return to form. Others wanted a commercial rebound with more hits to remind the world who he is. The result? Creative paralysis. The same artist who once dropped surprise albums overnight now can't decide what his next move should be. It's a dramatic shift for someone who used to define the trends, not chase them. What's worse is that the desperation isn't just coming from fans. It's starting to show in Drake's own behavior. His concerts have been filled with erratic energy, as if he's trying to remind the world that he's still the biggest artist alive. But the harder he tries, the more people see through it. Some fans argue that Iceman could be his last chance to reset his image, a chance to strip everything back and deliver something raw, mature, and fearless. Others think he's too deep into the persona to return to that vulnerability. Either way, the weight of expectation is crushing. If Iceman ever drops, it won't just be another Drake album. It'll be a test of whether he still has control over the culture. Right now, that control is slipping, and every delay makes the myth grow larger than the man. Behind the scenes, there's talk that Iceman might not drop at all, at least not in its original form. Sources close to OVO claimed that Drake recorded most of the album in the aftermath of his beef with Kendrick Lamar when emotions were high and pride was wounded. Some insiders described it as too bitter, filled with subliminals and defensive lyrics that would only reignite controversy. Others said the tone was unsettled, jumping between braggadocious flexes and paranoid confessions. Those who allegedly heard snippets called it one of Drake's darkest projects yet, but also one that lacked focus. That's why, according to whispers, the label stepped in, suggesting he rework or scrap large sections to avoid another PR nightmare. If true, that would explain the silence and repeated delays. Drake might be trying to reshape Iceman into something more digestible, something less reactive. But by doing that, he's also draining the authenticity that made fans crave it in the first place. Fans aren't buying the excuses. They're flooding comment sections with theories about suppression, leaks, and secret label politics. Some claim Drake's handlers don't want Iceman out because it would expose the real him. Others think he's deliberately holding it back until the right moment to regain attention. A calculated silence before a storm. Either way, every passing week turns Iceman into hip-hop's biggest urban legend. It's the album that exists everywhere except reality. Fans have pieced together fake track lists, AI versions, and fan-made covers that look almost official. They've built playlists with titles like If Iceman Was Real, blending old Drake songs to simulate what it might sound like. That obsession says a lot about the loyalty of his fan base, but also about the vacuum Drake has created by staying quiet. At this point, even the culture itself is moving past him. Artists who once bowed to Drake's dominance are carving out their own space while he lingers in limbo, trapped between the artist he was and the one he's afraid to become. Iceman was supposed to be the cure, the reminder that Drake could still freeze the world with a single drop. Instead, it's become a symbol of hesitation. The longer he waits, the colder the reception might be when it finally arrives. Because in hip-hop, timing is everything. And right now, the timing couldn't be worse. The audience isn't waiting to be impressed anymore. They are waiting to be convinced that Drake still matters. Now, the Iceman mystery stands as a turning point in Drake's legacy. Whether it drops or not, it represents something deeper. The end of his untouchable era. For over a decade, Drake moved like a machine, releasing at will, owning charts, and bending trends. But now he's facing the same problem that haunts every superstar eventually. Time. The culture shifts faster than it used to. New names, new sounds, and new voices are commanding the spotlight. For Drake, every delay feels like another step away from relevance. His fans, once confident in his dominance, are now holding on to nostalgia, hoping the artist who once ruled every summer can still reclaim that magic. Iceman was supposed to be that reset button, the project that proved Drake was still the king. Instead, it's become the most symbolic no-show in modern hip-hop. If there's one lesson from this entire saga, it's that even giants stumble when they lose connection with the hunger that made them. Drake's career was built on instinct, timing, and an unmatched sense of how to read the culture. But now, the timing is off. The instinct seems clouded, and the silence is too loud. Each passing day without Iceman feels like another layer of frost covering what used to be the hottest brand in music. And unless Drake finds a way to break through that ice with authenticity, not just hype, the myth might outlive the man. The desperation from fans says it all. They want a moment to believe in again. A reminder of why Drake's name once felt bigger than music itself. But the truth is, even if Iceman drops tomorrow, it may not be enough to restore that feeling. The culture has changed, and so has the way people connect to music. What used to be dominance is now survival. What used to be confidence is now caution. And Iceman, if it ever sees daylight, will decide whether Drake can adapt or fade. Until then, all anyone can do is speculate. The legend of Iceman continues to grow, carried by leaks, rumors, and hope. But the longer it stays frozen, the more it feels like Drake's career metaphor, cold, distant, and suspended in time. Whether it melts into reality or remains a myth, one thing's for sure. Iceman will be remembered as the album that tested Drake's legacy like no other. And that's the full story behind the Iceman album mystery. The hype, the silence, and the desperation. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest stories shaping hip-hop culture.